What happens when the most powerful financial institution in the world touches a button? What if that button controls your mortgage, your job prospects, your savings, even the price of your groceries? Welcome to the world of the Federal Reserve and interest rate policy. In this deep dive documentary, we break down everything you need to know about rate cuts, Fed policy, and how it's reshaping our economic future. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you care about where your money is going in 2025 and beyond. This is information you can't afford to miss. What is the Federal Reserve? The Federal Reserve, or the Fed, is America's central bank. Created in 1913, it has one job: stabilize the economy. But in 2025, its role has grown far beyond that. It's the ultimate backstop, the silent hand behind every economic boom and bust. Topics covered: Federal Reserve's structure, Board of Governors, FOMC dual mandate, full employment and stable inflation, tools of the Fed, rate setting, open market operations, quantitative easing, interest rates, 101, why they matter. Why does a quarter-point change matter? Because that tiny percentage controls trillions of dollars in loans, credit cards, home mortgages, and business investments. Interest rates are the economy's heartbeat. Key points: Fed funds rate versus consumer rates. Impact on savings, credit, loans, housing, employment. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Economics made simple. The cycle of rate cuts and hikes. Rate hikes slow down an overheated economy. Rate cuts stimulate a cooling one. But the timing is everything, and getting it wrong can cause recessions, inflation, or even financial crises. Historical case studies: Paul Volcker and the 1980s Greenspans.com bubble era, the 2008 financial crisis, COVID-19, zero rates, and unlimited QE. Why does the Fed cut rates? When the Fed cuts rates, it's trying to get the economy moving, whether it's to avoid a recession, boost employment, or counteract financial shocks. Lower rates encourage spending and risk-taking. Real-world scenarios: rising unemployment, falling GDP, low consumer confidence. Think of it like caffeine for the economy. Too much, and we crash. Not enough, and we fall asleep. The impact of rate cuts: who wins and who loses. Rate cuts aren't neutral. They pick winners and losers. Investors cheer, savers groan. The stock market soars, but inflation might rise. Let's break it down. Key impacts: bond markets, stock markets, especially tech and growth stocks. Real estate banking sector, consumer debt and savings. Subscribe to stay ahead of how these moves impact your wallet. 2025 to 2026. A new era of Fed policy? We're entering uncharted territory. Inflation is cooling, but global supply chains remain fragile. Employment is strong, but wages are stagnating. What will the Fed do next? Key trends: expectations of rate cuts in 2025, inflation targeting and data dependency, geopolitical pressures, China oil markets, climate shocks, Fed watchers, market reactions. Every Fed move is dissected by traders, economists, and journalists. Fed speak isn't just talk. It moves markets. Profiles: Wall Street expectations, how stocks and bonds react to dovish or hawkish tones, media interpretation of Powell's words, tools beyond rate cuts. Cutting rates isn't the Fed's only option. There's a full arsenal of tools, some used, some controversial. Examples: quantitative easing and tightening, QE, QT, repo operations, emergency lending, yield curve control, potentially. Subscribe for our upcoming breakdown of the Fed's emergency playbook. Global central banks: how the Fed influences the world. When the Fed cuts rates, central banks from Tokyo to London pay attention. The US dollar is the global reserve currency, and Fed policy affects everyone. Case studies: ECB and Bank of England responses, emerging markets capital flows, currency volatility, your money, your future, strategies for individuals. So, what can you do about it? Whether you're a saver, investor, or retiree, Fed policy affects your personal finances. Let's talk strategy. Tips: investing during low-rate environments, navigating inflation, real estate considerations, debt refinancing. Subscribe now for smart financial strategies in a changing world. The Fed's influence isn't going away. Scene 12. Calm background music, summary montage of key moments in Fed history. The Fed isn't just a financial institution. It's the heartbeat of the U.S. economy. Understanding its moves and anticipating them could be the smartest financial decision you ever make. Like, share, and subscribe if you found this breakdown helpful. We've got more videos coming that'll help you make sense of the markets, inflation, and the future of money. Rate cuts and Fed policy. Explained. Subscribe for more.